When's the last time you could honestly tell yourself, wow, is it great to be alive? Amazing feeling comes over you, this blissful joy. I had one today when I was on my walk in the sunlight, took a couple breaths and just, realized, wow, this is amazing. I feel great right now. And it's pretty powerful. I would wish that upon everybody to have one of those moments. And if you haven't had one in a very long time, that might be an indication of we have some work to do. Now there's a lot of things you can go about getting there, but just realizing that we should be happy to be alive. We should be grateful to be alive. With every breath comes a new adventure. This is Anthony Stewart. This is Food for Thought, and we're questioning everything they've ever said. This is my N of 1 experiment, my journey to health and wellness. It's been 2.5 years. I've been an animal-based carnivore, and right now I can honestly tell you I feel the best I've ever felt in my life, hands down. And it just keeps getting better. Currently, I'm in the middle, I'm day 1 of a 3-day fast, and my brain is alive. It's lit up like a Christmas tree, funny enough. And I was watching something today that kind of got me thinking that I would wish I could, that I'm going to share with you. And that's how to mitigate some chaos in our lives. And this is coming from a nutritional standpoint, from a food perspective. And first, what we must do is shift that perspective. And, let me know in the comments if certain things affect or trigger you to the point of no return. And what I mean by that is, obviously we've heard of emotional eating. Obviously we've heard of addictive behaviors. Obviously there's a lot of people that are actually in denial of sugar being an addictive substance, let alone sugar addiction being a thing. I myself, in my opinion, it is a very real thing, and I can prove it to you. Stop eating it. Right? It's pretty simple. If you're holding on to what they say, if you're holding on to, well, sugar's not bad for you, a little bit of sugar's okay, natural sugar's all right, well, stop eating it. See what happens. Then when you realize carbohydrates are all sugar, is there a place for carbohydrates in the human diet? That's subjective. That's, maybe. For me, I don't eat them. That's my opinion. I don't need them to exercise. Maybe they would potentially give me a little bit more energy in anaerobic physical activity, but as of now, I don't need them. I feel amazing without them. Excuse me. Now that's the other thing. I'm not pretending to know everything, every situation of everybody out there. And emotional eating is the thing, triggered eating. But I can assure you, understanding the mechanisms is my thing. And why we eat emotionally and why we're addicted to these things probably isn't necessarily our fault. And it could be, a lot of things. And realistically, when we look at nature, and like I've always said this, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I'm looking at this from a logical perspective. But if we look at nature, food was not available to us 24/7. We had to earn it. We had to gather it. We had to hunt it. Now we have 7-Eleven and Skip the Dishes and Uber Eats at your fingertips whenever you want. What would happen if all that ended tomorrow? What would you do? Would you just freak out, panic, and go nuts? Or would you have to figure it out and provide sustenance for yourself? It's just things, food for thought, right? So when you're relying on convenience, processed food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, healthy snacks, whatever it is, it was not available to us at all times. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner is a luxury. Breaking your fast or first feeding is not a luxury. That would be a natural instinct. But breakfast, lunch, and dinner is a luxury. What if you cannot or did not have that food supply, well, then there would be a different context, wouldn't it? Maybe there'd be some natural survival instincts that get in there. Now, I heard this interview today with Andy Gilpin and Dr. Andrew Huberman on the Huberman Lab podcast. And it was fascinating. And he's talking about exercise, and he's talking about gym, and how this I'll get to how it's going to relate to nutrition in a second. But this was the chaos factor. You can plan to go to the gym, regimented sets, blah, 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 all this workout stuff. But there is life. Chaos. Sometimes you don't have the time. Some things happen in your life, whether you have family, spouses, kids, issues, stresses. You don't always have the perfect time. Now, when we have a diet, that happens as well. Sometimes it's not convenient for you to eat. Sometimes you need to eat fast in a hurry. Sometimes it may not be what you want. And how we navigate this space is pretty much subjective, we'll call it. So his idea was that, yes, you have a training regimen, but 10 to 50% of the time, there's a chaos factor. So you have to plan for it. How do you circumvent the chaos? Well, this is for the people that are trying a new diet approach. These are a few little things that may help you. Ask these questions. Why am I eating this right now? Do I need this? Do I want this right now? Is it a need or a want? Once you start digging into these questions, the perspective shifts. Is this a trigger from my brain, an emotion, causing me to want something to satisfy that emotion or that urge or my brain? Am I hungry? Have I had enough food today? Why would I be hungry? These questions can help you get along with. And it's not to say you need to be perfect, but just be honest with yourself and understand if you are if you're emotionally triggered by life and stress, maybe it's a good idea to start understanding the mechanisms behind it. Understanding how hormones, how putting yourself in a better situation may help you. And I can't do this for you, and I'm not pretending to be all-knowing and understanding what you're going through. This is not about that. But there are mechanisms, and I'm proof that I am not perfect. I'm not rich. You know, over the last few years, I've dealt with a lot of adversity, a lot of dark times. I've come out on this end being okay. Being okay in my skin, being okay with what I have, being blessed with my life as it is now. So that's just an anecdotal perspective on how things can improve. And nothing's really changed in my life except my perspective. And why is that? I think a lot of what that has to do is with nutrition. Now, was it because I do breath work? Yeah, possibly. Is it because I try and get 10,000 steps a day? Possibly. Is it because I meditate now? Possibly. Is it because I take a cold shower every day? Possibly. Is it because I meditate or say prayers? Possibly. Is it because I'm now a way more positive person? I think all of it has a lot to do with my state. But I believe the foundations, breathing, sleeping, eating, moving, and loving, have a lot to do with it. So, controlling the chaos in your life, to reverse engineer of dealing with the chaos, is where you should start. And I believe the way to do that is to give your body what it needs in the form of proper nutrition. Air, breathing properly, sleeping properly, getting out in the sun. All these holistic treatments or therapies, you may say, are free. They say that they're bullshit. I say bullshit to them because they are changing my life. Like incrementally every day to the point now where I feel amazing every day. And is it a coincidence? Hell no. Cause and effect, baby. There is no chance. It's just the law of cause and effect not recognized. So how do I get here? Mechanisms. Start understanding nutrition. Start understanding that your hormones dictate you. Start understanding that you can use your daily routine as a tool. And if you are charged and running on emotions, that may be a direct reflection on what you're consuming. So understanding the mechanisms of why and how you're doing things is vital. Smile. First thing you do when you wake up, you're alive. That's amazing. And if you don't feel that, we have some work to do. And you can get there. I believe you. I believe in you. Tell me in the comments how you feel. Tell me if there's any valuable tools or tricks that you have to feeling great every day. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to do these talks to bring into perspective not just myself, but don't be fooled by the world. Don't be tricked by the world, pulling the wool over your eyes. All these health alternative views have merits. Take wisdom. Listen to people. Everybody. Get into it. I'm not saying you have to do anything. I'm just saying there's a way to get righteous. And that's on you. Hopefully I can help shed another perspective on that. Please like and subscribe to these videos or share them with somebody that it may benefit. You know what? What matters is you're here right now. Thank you. Stay strong.